Hey, good morning, folks. We are off to a slow start today. Overslept. My alarm didn't go off, so we're going to have an abridged episode today, but we're still going to get some stuff done. So give me a second here to check my signal. We're still going to get some stuff done. Sounds like my signal coming through okay. I am going to post here real quick. Hold on. Here, let me do my Twitter bit here real quick, and then we'll get ourselves started. So, hold on here. I'm gonna hit my signals here, and then we'll go. Sorry, I'm having a rough start today, my guys. Rough start for Phil. Okay, great. So if you follow me on Twitter, I have just posted that I am live on Twitter, so we're making some progress here. I'm going to punch signals across the Discords real quick, and then we'll be able to get into production. My name is Phil. Hey, I create PDF supplements for Dungeons & Dragons that we publish on the DMsGuild. You can see a collection of work that I have already produced in the description down below. There are links to DMsGuild stuff that I've made. You can click on the eye icon if you're on a mobile phone, or underneath the production page on the underneath the cover image on the product description page. You can click instead. The word that we're trying to say here is full. Oh, that's right, full preview. You can do the full preview by clicking on the button that says full preview. There you go. All my stuff is 100% preview. You can read it all cover to cover, just so you can get an idea of how my stuff looks. If you like it, if you do, fantastic. Consider making a purchase. If you ever come back and visit any of the content because you just want to take a second look at what I was talking about, it's probably a good indication that it's interesting enough for you to purchase as well. So that certainly supports all the 120 some odd illustrations that we placed inside of the content. We're going to do the same thing with this Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book. As you can see, here's the book cover that we created. This was back around episode, I think around 15 to 19 that we made the cover. And we've continued to make additional assets as we go along that will be included with the supplement when it's completed, including all the ship tokens, creature tokens, maps needed for Zaraxis. Here is the token that we're working on currently, which is the Lunar Dragon. That is what we are modifying. We're going to need to work on the lighting a little bit, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with where it's at. I think we need smaller limbs on this guy, though. So we've got about an hour and 10 minutes today. I thought I was going to have 2 hours to finish this up, but oh well. This week, we do this Monday through Saturday in the morning. At lunchtime today, in about 6 hours, we're going to be for Marshall Power's project design. And hold on, get the wiki. Let's see. Timer. We're gonna put 20 minutes on the clock. Blip. And we're gonna get back to work. So let's see. This guy seems a lot less. He seems a lot more Skeksis and a lot less brute. So I think what I need to do is get rid of some of these giant hammers that this guy is running around with. Replace it with something a little more, dare I say, emaciated. Now, regardless of what the proper term is, we're gonna have to grab these things and bring it down like a lot of notches. Let's do that and that. Back here. I like the overall shape how this thing's turned out. It's obviously coming along very nicely since the last time we had visited, which was last week. I think we're going to be able to get this thing resolved. I think it only needs 2 hours resolved, but we don't have those 2 hours this morning, so we'll see if I'm able to get anywhere close to proper finish. Fascinating. Okay, let's put these arms back into the situation. Something like that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Merge. There we go. Yeah. What we can do is once we finish the color here, we can just do a select loop around it and just you know, black it out so that it's a silhouette. Super easy, super easy to do for the black and white version. So all I gotta do is just finish up the anatomy here for the colorized version, and then we can be done with this. We'll be down only to the megapede after this. With God's grace, we'll be able to get done today with this token here. Get the megapede done tomorrow. And then we'll be back into ship token production for the rest of the week. So still have 7 ships to we still have 7 ships to finish. So I think it's theoretically possible. Don't count me on this, but it's possible for us to get the rest of the vessels completed maybe by Monday. That'll still leave us the fighter craft that we developed for the product, because you've got the Spelljammer vessels that we're used to from the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space book that Wizards had produced in August, as well as it's a lot of the same ships that had been in the original 1987 supplement for 2nd edition. A lot of that information is all the same. They had a number of smaller, combat fighter craft to be able to fly around in space combat and stuff that wasn't supported by the 5th edition Adventures in Space supplement that Wizards just put out, but obviously we know how to do that. So we created firecraft of our own, and we'll need to illustrate and build deck plans for them to be able to really provide a fleshed out product for everybody to make use of. So that is a pure pleasure and joy to do, though it does slow down production. So I'll probably be hammering away at page layout off screen while we resolve all the tokens. And once the tokens and the floor maps for fightercraft to complete. That will leave us literally with nothing left but page layouts to produce. I mean, we'll have to make all the diagrams and charts and all the page illustrations and stuff that go along with the product. But there's all that stuff is internal. All the tokens and things that we're making right now are items that we need to finish the product, so it's the right place to be. But I'm really starting to itch to get the page layouts going for this. So I'm hoping what that translates into is a little bit of a fire under my ass to get the rest of these tokens completed, so we can actually get to the meat of this thing. It's time. It is time for this thing to get out. And I want to get that. I want to have that happen. So I'm super excited. I want to warp this a bit. Warp feels right. See if I can get this going right. Hey, Ornetico. Yeah, it's turning out really, really nicely. Very, very pleased with how it is resolving. I think that feels right. Much better pose overall. Bo. There we go. Yeah, I like how that's turning out. Marco says, what we got going on, buddy? Perfect. All right. Hornico says, I've been struggling with my current adventure writing. I've been having trouble figuring out how to set up adventure hooks without writing out 6 different mini adventures to go in the document. That is a fine conundrum, my friend. Yeah, the way that we did it, when we initially built it, we had all 6 hooks in line with the adventure. But what we ended up doing was making an appendix for alternate plot hooks. So we went with the main hook that we felt was just the most general go-to, like a good meaty go-to. We went with for the Everon adventure that we're doing. We went with the sheriff plot hook first because it gives the characters legal authority to ask questions. So we felt that was the best one to go with for an investigation and social engagement default that a crazy zealot could ruin by getting combative and screwing up negotiations, but it gave the widest range of options, because you're guaranteed combat with undead catching you. You're guaranteed exploration options just by looking for stuff and trying to avoid threats. Then it's just a matter of social, and the only real great source of social engagement in the adventure is going to be through the mercenaries that are guarding the facility that we built. So having a plot hook that facilitates your ability to engage in that pillar, and in this case, I'm talking about you get a deputization. You're deputized. You get a badge. So anywhere you show up, you can show your badge, and you automatically get advantage on any investigation, persuasion, and intimidation checks that you're making with anybody that respects what that badge is. So it's a really great door to open up while you're in home territory to start pushing people around and getting answers to questions that you need. So that becomes the default plot, and then so all the other plot hooks that we have become alternates, and so we list all the alternates in the appendix. And then during the course of the adventure, it's like the plot hook where you're starting off as, here's the default, you're deputized by the sheriff to check out what's going on here. However, there are multiple optional hooks that you can choose to integrate into the adventure instead. Go to Appendix 2 to explore, Appendix 3 to explore what those options are. So then when you drop down into Appendix 3, then it spells out what all the different plot hooks are, what benefits you gain from, like what additional information or magic items or resources you gain access to that's unique for that hook. And then it has its own rewards that we list out as part of the initial hook. And then modifying the adventure after we lay out what those alternate hooks are, we lay out what the alternate results are. Like in the graveyard, you can run across a capture somebody that gets caught out by undead. They're going to get killed, so they're crying for help. So that's an opportunity for your characters to step in, rescue them, and then ask questions and get legit answers out of gratitude. Initially, that's just going to be some escaped villagers that will be able to point you in the right direction to get to either the fort or the gatehouse, so you can engage in that social in the social challenges that the badges afford to you. But in other in other plot hooks, like for example, the gatekeepers. If you go with the gatekeepers, there are alternate heroes that were from different conclaves attempting to resolve this issue that failed. So when you find them in the cemetery, you find other fallen gatekeepers that attempted what you're attempting to do right now. So it's like you're not even necessarily the first string defense that they bring into this thing. They just told you they want you to take care of this thing. They didn't necessarily tell you there were other people that were trying that failed. So you could find those along the way. It's like, oh, other people are trying and failing. So now that you have that established in the adventure, and each hook, has like there's thieves trying to break in and steal resources in one of the plot hooks. There's lab assistants that are trying to escape in another plot hook. But all those are lined up down in the appendix. After you list out all the then it's like Act 2, Region 2, Area 4, Running in the Mist, and then in that section, then you list out for plot hook alt plot hook 1, alt plot hook 2, alt plot hook 3, alt plot hook 4, alt plot hook 5. Here they are, and then with each area in each section in each act where there's an alternate like that. Like I think we have like 6 alternates. So there's at 6 different points in the adventure where you can completely switch out who the NPCs are depending on what hook you're running, but you have them all consolidated in the appendix, so that as you go through the adventure and you're using an alternate plot hook, you can just bounce down to the appendix, and then the appendix will bounce you back up to the top of the document just by hyperlinking everything. And then you can just do like little diary, like little playbooks. You can have these little playbook PDFs that you tear out and you hand off as separate things, and this is what you'll deal with. This is the adventure plot hook that the DM decides to go with instead. So you do these little tear out things to make it easier for you to keep track of, to organize stuff and make it easier for DMs to use that stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Organizing is definitely something that needs to flow smoothly. But if you go with a default, you can just keep the flow in stream without disrupting people. Because if you line it up that way instead of keeping everything in line, then it doesn't get confusing about how many people are actually there or what you're supposed to do with it. I mean, it might be pretty intuitive to figure out, yeah, obviously I want to use one of these, which one do I want to choose? But if you're not choosing any of the alternate hooks, then it's kind of just a drag on the actual content itself that you can afford to migrate to get out of the way. So anyway, not that you asked, but that's my 2 cents. That's how we resolved it. I guess you were asking how we resolved it. So cheers. There you go, buddy. I'll be working on Eberron this evening as well. In about 12 hours, 12 and a half hours, we'll be back on to do Eberron stuff tonight. Some more of the underground map. For any lurkers out there, hey, we do this Mondays through Saturdays, and this is the Lunar Dragon from Spelljammer's Adventures in Space that we are creating a token for. I don't think there are any Lunar Dragons that actually show up in Light of Xeraxis, but it is a thank you, Timely Timer. We'll keep track of time. The way that we restructure movement, time and distance in the supplement, the combat and exploration supplement, to help make better sense of what Adventures in Space is attempting to do. A number of creatures are capable of travel between worlds despite not having spelljammers themselves. So you can, if you have a strong enough creature, they can do cool stuff like that. And dragons are definitely of a higher enough rank to be able to do things like that. How about that? Let's just merge that down for whatever freaking weird reason it wasn't. Like this. So dragons are one of the types of creatures that are capable of travel between worlds. And so they can harass your they can harass your Spelljammer ship, as I think the content is intending for them to be able to do. So obviously they need to be able to move fast enough to be a threat to a Spelljammer ship, which means that dragons are capable of travel between worlds. La-di-da, Bob's your uncle. All you gotta do is just add in some simple rules on, hey, if you're if you're strong enough to be able to do this, here's the movement speed that you have. Like, just add it. That's like around page, I want to say like around page 65. We'll get to it. You'll see it. It's all gonna be in here, and then when we actually get into page layouts, we can actually start looking. We can start casually flipping through this stuff as we build the layouts. So. But it won't be a focused read-through. We won't do the focused read-through until the thing actually publishes. So if we just happen to spend some time on a page, I'll probably spend more time talking about specific content on each page while we're doing illustrations for each page. I don't think we're going to spend a lot of stream time actually doing page layouts. What I want to do is have a few keynote sessions so you guys can see what goes into creating layouts without boring you through the process. And that way, when it's actually done, we can do a page turn walkthrough, so y'all can see everything that we actually put into the thing. But like I said, we're going to be spending some serious time inside the pages, both in the layout as well as the illustration and charts and stuff like that. So once we have all that, that'll be our next phase once we finish the last of these tokens. So it doesn't look like, well, we still got 50 minutes. I can get this thing done. I can get the dragon done today. And I finally, I think I've locked in on how I want the Megapede to look. I was struggling with that last week as well. And most of the times I find if I'm struggling with something, just sleeping it off is all you really need to do to get back on page and keep moving forward. So maybe that's just me. But a good nap is a fine way to get the creative juices going. There we go. I feel like this should actually be thinner. Let's grab a reference here real quick. Yeah, he's got a much thinner neck, so I'm going to thin his neck down a bit. I can actually afford to make his head a little bit smaller. So let's do that. Just gonna merge down. Good, good. Down. Start watching on Peacock the reboot of Quantum Leap, and I would say in levels of quality it's probably equal to Warrior Nun. It is it's mindless fodder. It's serial, so it's if you end up ignoring too many episodes, you kind of lose track of where you're at, what the hell's going on with the characters. But for the most part, it's mindless fodder that doesn't require much attention. So like it's good tablet background. You know, if you're a multi-screen user, then this will fall right into your workflow, no problem. But it's doing some interesting stuff. It's occasionally got some interesting character stuff things going on. Stuff things. So I'll stick around with it. But for the most part, I'm doing edits and casual rewrites and you know, authoring stuff while I'm hanging out with TV dancing around in the background. We mostly use TV is this background noise when we're doing stuff. Equal in quality to Warrior Nuns. Hits like a truck. Ugh. Yeah, I know, right? That wasn't a big compliment. But it's about on par. Actually, here's another slap back. We can go with. We could say it's about as well written as Gone Girl. So, or was that? Damn it! Was that the name of that show? There was the name of the show, and this chick was a succubus, and and she had to fight crime in the Fey world. I think it was called Gone Girl. But her sidekick was this chick named Kinsey, and she was funny as hell. Like, she had all the best lines in the show, and then she ended up getting killed. Sorry, spoiler alert. But that was even more worthless. I like the premise of Warrior Nun, like having an angel's halo burn into your back to give you powers. That's some cool stuff. I'm into it. It's just the drama is stupid. Legend of the Seeker used to be our bar for whether something, you know, like if you want to reference like it's terrible but you can't stop watching it, it was Legend of the Seeker for sure. But there have been others that have come out since then. Always others, are there not, Mr. Burton? Seem like the kind of fellow that knows the trouble between men and women, eh, Mr. Burton? Not here for a truck, you're here for a girl. A girl with green eyes. You're safe. Safer with me than anywhere else in the world. That's my horrible egg shen accent, not egg shen. Low pan. That's my crappy low pan impression. Big Trouble Little China, however, I will always hail as just a masterpiece. That film is freaking awesome. It's that is, if you have not seen Big Trouble Little China, do yourself a favor and spend some time with Jack Burton. And the film is just, it's utterly, it's self-aware. Like it never winks or anything, like doesn't break the fourth wall at all, but it is so obvious when you're watching it how campy it feels and how much fun the acting crew must have had in producing that film, because it's so over the top all the time. It's just totally worth your time, and it's great D&D content. Like it's a great modern fantasy adventure. It's super fun. And it moves really fast. It's really solid as far as like hitting all the plot points and being able to move through the story quickly. It does a great job just moving forward. It's a really good case study in what's next, like moving an action adventure forward through plot points in a very logical, natural sequence. Words, Kearney. Plus, I like quoting it a lot. Because me and my friends, we communicate through quotes. Oh, that was the wrong button. Thank you. This guy's going along great, though. I don't think there's any reason why I can't have this finished in another 40 minutes. So, I mean, it's already pretty much at the quality of the other tokens, and I don't want to take it too far ahead. Regardless of how much I'm enjoying the picture, it has a quality cap that we have to respect. Otherwise, the token is going to outpace its peers. And I want to try to keep everything sort of samey. So, although I could certainly take this further, not much reason to. Another fun little kicker is that once we have these things done, we can place them in the book as illustrations in the creatures section. So it's certainly, aside from these things being tokens, they have a purpose for the rest of the book. So I'm gonna actually delete those real quick and just make sure I have the outline of this guy sitting pretty. We'll get the outline of the frame set here, and then we'll go through and we'll put his scales onto his back and his chops, and then we should be done. We'll just drop in the we'll just, fuse the outline and then make the silhouette. Like I said, we should be done. And that will leave us with only maybe we'll do the Megapede on screen. I might just skip the Megapede because it might not be as exciting. We'll see. I'll either finish the Megapede here on screen with y'all tomorrow, or I might just leave it for when I have insomnia. It took me way too long to figure out what you were referencing. Yeah. Fair enough, my friend. Well, we all have our reference points on tap that we know. Other things we have to dig for. We occasionally catch ourselves off guard with like really obscure quotes. It's like, too obscure? It's like, yeah, too obscure. It's like, oh, okay, here's a reference. It's like, oh, yeah. And then we'll rip about how good that film is. And then the quote may or may not end up in our common lexicon. Do like that. Nice. These guys turn out just fine. We're doing just fine here. Oh my god, so much cleanup. Clean up. Hey, thank you, Timely Timer. I still have a half hour. That's awesome. I know the scale. I know the scale is going to take a little time, but hopefully it shouldn't take. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully, I won't have to mince over those details too much. I'll just be able to knock this guy down and be done and claim our W. So good. So what? We're gonna have to do a manual drop, a manual back drop. There's too much slop going on for it to be just a select fill. It'll end up being super. It's gonna end up being super fringy. I mean, I could start there, I suppose, but it's gonna be ugly. Nice. All right, cool. So let's see. Oh, it's a lot more chaotic than that. So he's got these little prongs on his down his forearm. He's got them on his chops. He has them on the ridge, but less so on the head. All the way down his back to about mid-tail. So that just locked up my computer. So I'm going to let it finish saving. We're going to reopen it. We'll drop these scales, and then we'll be done. So let's reopen that. We got this. We got this. We got this. There's actually a lot less rules involved with this than I thought there was. Look how inconsistent these things are. I can do pretty much anything the hell I want with this stuff. So that's just going to give us a ton of freedom here just to be able to plow through things. So let's get to it. Let's get cracking. I don't know. I don't understand what these little craggly bits are. I don't know why that says Lunar Dragon. Like what about it? But whatever. I don't technically have to worry about that. It's not my design. I'm just making the most of it. Smooth jazz. Ah, ah, ah. K-Y-O-T. The Coyote. I need to do this faster if I'm going to get this done. It's nice that I'm futzing around here, but seriously, it's futzing. Let's not make any mistake. We're just wasting our time in the details here. So let's just power through this thing, get these things built, and then we can worry about futzing around with stuff. Yeah, there is no rhyme or reason to how these things are, so I really can't go wrong. There we go. This is looking good. I'm happy with it. There we go. We're gonna be on wrap up here pretty soon. We're running out of time. We got 7:45. Still got 15 minutes. We can do this. We can do this. We got this. There we go. You know what? I'm just gonna freaking chop. Just like that. I'm on Raw. It's a cool song. There we go. It's that rough. I want to be careful about too many details, which is ironic. But again, I don't want this to outpace. Just because I like this piece doesn't mean I need to. I don't want to outpace the other pieces that I've done. So maintaining that consistent level of quality is a limiting factor that I am really attempting to respect. Make it timely, timer. Still got 10 minutes, right? Yeah, we got 10 minutes. We got this. We got this. Let's just merge all this down. Merge. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think I'm happy with this. Like as a just like as the colorized version, I think I'm good with it. So we're gonna spend the last 10 minutes that we have. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of minced. I mean, I can always add more details, but that's kind of the point. Is that I'm trying to get the point across without murdering ourselves on details. It is, after all, just a token. Just a token, but still, I mean, it looks good. But we don't want to murder ourselves on a detail because it's just a token. Merge down. When I drop these into the actual document for the illustration, if I want to add in some more details, I can certainly come back and do that. But for now, that is not the objective. No, knock it off, Courtney. Get rid of all that crap. I don't know what the hell you think you were doing, kid. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, I can be satisfied with that. So let's be satisfied. And let's see. We want to do the do select inverse. Trash, 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 trash. Let's go with select. Let's modify contract to goes back up to 100%. Perfect. Very, very good. Nope. Do it like this. Nope. Do it like this. There we go. Perfect. All right, cool. We're done. That's good enough, man. Here's our color token, and here's our black and white token. Set, boss. Freaking set. Man, that feels good. 7:59. Ha! Hit it with 1 minute to spare, my dudes. All right, we are done for now. We're going to, oh man, I am pleased. So let's lock this guy in. The only thing left we have is Yon Megapede. This is what we got with the Megapede so far. I'm not sure if I'm 100% on that, but I think I can make it work. So that's where we're going to be. That's what we're going to work on tomorrow, I reckon. It'll be that'll be the Megapede is the last of the tokens that we need to produce. So I am content with where we are at. I'm going to sign off for now. We're going to be back. It's 8 o'clock now on the button, so we're going to be back in 4.5 hours ish. 4.5 hours to continue the Martial Powers project. We're going to build a request of Tyla was to create. Give it googly eyes. Tyla asked that we create a Ranger Skirmisher. So that is what we're going to build with the Martial Powers project today in 4.5 hours. And then we should be back in about like 10.5 hours to work on some Ebron maps some more this evening. And so like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. Check in the description down below. There's a slew of books I've created. You can read cover to cover just to see the kind of illustrations that we put in, the kind of work we have in, layouts, concepts in general. It's stuff for you guys just to play with. And so I will see you guys. I'll see you guys on the other side. So soon enough, my guys. Where are we at? Yeah, like button, subscribe, all the good things. I'll catch you in a couple hours. Bye.